Any questions? Yeah, go ahead,
Dana. Two obviously very unpredictable situations in the final two fights of the night. Can you tell us what you knew was going on during that co-main event between Mousasi and Weidman? What were they explaining to you, if anything?
What was the commission explaining? They didn't explain anything to me. But basically, the referee made a mistake. And I, Weidman was in a very unfortunate position where, he was told he had 5 minutes, so he's laying on the ground, and then at the end the doctor says, I can't let this guy continue. And because he laid on the ground for so long, they looked at the thing, and here's the thing. With the New York State Athletic Commission, it's like we're in 2001 again. These guys haven't done big mixed martial arts fights. These guys have to get some experience. And as a fighter, I say it all the time, you have to be on your toes and you got to be ready to go. And, many, many times in even great states like Nevada, not only are you battling your opponent, you're battling the ref and the judges and anybody else who has any type of power over the fight. So you got to go in there and you have to literally, fight to win, man. Fight to finish.
Weidman said he wants to do it again. Is that a fight that you would put together again, or was there not enough controversy to warrant that?
Yeah, I don't. If you ask yourself, could Weidman have come back from that? And he said it. I've been in worse positions than that, but it looked like he was in a real bad position right there, and that's the way the fight was going to go. So who knows? I don't know.
Did you have any indication, moving on to the to the main event, that Rumble Johnson was going to retire? I mean,
no. He just grabbed me downstairs and said, "Listen, man, I couldn't tell you. I'm working on something really big right now. It's massive, and it's really good for me and my life and everything else." And I said, "I'm happy for you, man." He doesn't have to tell me he's retiring. Whatever he's got going on is his personal business. I was saying, I agree with Daniel Cormier that I think he has a lot more still, and he's on top of the game. But as soon as that R word pops into your head, you absolutely should retire. This ain't a game to hang out and if you're even considering retiring. So I'm happy for him. He's a great guy. He's always been an entertaining fighter for us. He's always been a good guy, and I wish him the best. I'm happy for him.
And obviously, the old standby is no matchmaking right after the event. But between DC and John Jones, I mean, his return from suspension lines up right in that wheelhouse for International Fight Week. Is that on the radar?
I don't think it does line up. I think International Fight Week, his suspension comes
Is it after?
After, I think, yeah, or within the day after or something like that. So it doesn't line up for that. So I haven't even thought about that. John Jones and I haven't even talked since this whole thing went down. So we're not close to making anything.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, right here in the front.
Hi,
oh,
Dana.
sorry.
Hi,
this
Dana.
guy's next right here.
Hi, Dan. Tom Lee, Ryerson Television. Just a quick question. Seeing the sellout crowd at KeyBank Center, do you think Buffalo has proven to you that they can host another UFC event down the line?
Yeah. I mean, you know how it is, man. We break records like this, whatever. I can't wait to come back to Buffalo. And the crowd was great tonight too. Great crowd. They were there early for the prelims, and it was a good crowd. It was fun.
Final question is that Daniel Cormier's next opponent, like you see John Jones, is Jimmy Manuwa. He also mentioned which opponent do you think that he would?
I don't know. We'll see how this thing plays out. Obviously Daniel. I don't know if you guys have seen Daniel yet. His nose is not looking good. He's got a very broken nose. So just let him go home and spend some time with his family and relax, and we'll start talking about that when he's ready.
Dana, with the screwiness between the states, you have the ruling tonight with the Weidman fight, but you also have this Pearl Gonzalez situation where there's like a rule that nobody seems to know about, or it's only in New York.
The media jumped the gun with that one. The media jumped the gun and put that out. Yeah, absolutely. I blame the media on that one. Nobody came out and said anything that fight was canceled. I don't know who started that or how it got there, but it was bullshit.
Do you think that aside, that there needs to be some sort of unification with all the states and just have standard rules for UFC? Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah, there are. And the difference is that rule where they had with the, about the implants, that was a rule they had for boxing. It wasn't an MMA rule. And the fight wasn't canceled. sometimes things go on, but everybody's trying to jump for a scoop like they heard something and something's going on and then put out misinformation. Yeah, but as we go to commission, they basically are the same. And as we go from commission to commission, this is still, I mean, if you look at this sport, I mean, what are we, 17 years old from the Zuffa era, from when we bought the company? We're still 17 years old. There's still going to be some mistakes, and nothing is ever perfect. And, it's one of the things that I have to, it's a testament to how good my team is. When crazy shit goes down, we handle it and we get it straightened out. It's very rare that we have fights pulled. But the New York State Athletic Commission has been great. Bad situations happen sometimes, and these guys are still learning. I think that obviously these guys are going to get a lot of smaller organizations come in, and their refs, their doctors, their commission will all get more work, and we'll get more comfortable with the sport of mixed martial arts. Thank you.
You said that you weren't sure about Jones' suspension. Sorry, back here in the middle.
Yeah.
You said you weren't sure about Jones' suspension, how it lined up. You're still...
No, I said I don't know exactly what day it lands on, but it's in that ballpark of International Fight Week. But I thought
it was 2 days before.
I think it's after. Maybe you're right.
Because I think you also can't promote fights so long.
I hope you're right. Too. But I don't know.
I guess how much would your decision on that have to do with if you're still trying to make Bisping and St. Pierre happen and how that all works out?
Yeah, definitely. Well, obviously, Cody and TJ are already on that card. Right. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
And not to mention anybody specifically from tonight, but if one of your fighters were to say they wanted to go play football and they were under contract, would you allow that, or how would that work out with you?
If a fighter wanted to go play football, like NFL football?
Yeah.
That's like NFL players saying they want to come over here. I don't know. Why, you know something that I don't know?
Just wondering about a new venture for one of your fighters.
It's a weird question, but okay. Yeah.
Just wondering. Okay.
We'll see we'll see what happens there.
Okay. Thanks.
Dana.
Yeah.
USADA told me last week that Jones' suspension is up July 7th. So, Jones. So the fight would be July 8th, 213. Is that too close?
I think so, because I don't think he. I think he was just saying he wouldn't be allowed to promote or do anything like that if he's on suspension.
You are allowed to promote. I asked him that too.
Well, there you go. You know more than I do.
But would you feel comfortable? I mean, with Nevada, because he'd have to get relicensed. Does that just feel too close to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with that whole nightmare. Listen, if Jones fights, Jones going to be a co-main event anyway. So there's already a co-main event on that card.
Because you said you won't put him in the headlining.
Not yet.
Even if it's Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, you'd put TJ and Cody ahead of them.
Put just about everybody ahead and make them the main event. Yeah.
Because of what's happened.
Yeah, I just don't have the faith right now that the fight's going to happen.
Okay.
And I don't want to spend millions and millions of dollars again promoting a fight that doesn't happen.
Did you talk to him? Did you have a chance to talk to him?
No, we didn't talk.
Are you going to talk after this?
Probably not. We'll probably talk closer to when it's time for him to fight, which I don't believe will be in July anyway. So.
Okay. And just one more. Gegard Mousasi, I'm sure you heard, very vocal about his contract. Now he's a free agent or going to be a free agent.
Yep.
Well,
now he can't complain about the money because now we're going to find out,
But what are your thoughts on A, what he said, and B?
What did he say?
Just saying he wants to be paid more. He didn't like the fact that Mark Hunt, who he beat, paid more than him. Dan Henderson. So I was just wondering about that.
Dan Henderson's been in the game forever. Okay, Mark Hunt has an entire country behind him. When Mark Hunt, when we do fights in Australia, he sells out arenas. Okay, Gegard Mousasi isn't selling out arenas. That's why guys like that. You'll see guys like Bisping, different fighters from Brazil, Conor McGregor. When you have guys who have countries behind them, it's a game changer for them. Not everybody has that luxury.
Last question. Are you interested in talking to him? Do you want to have him still around?
Yeah. Listen, I'm a Gegard fan. I'm the one that brought Gegard in here. I like the guy very much. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Dana, just a quick thought on the retiring Patrick Cote, who's been with the organization for a very long time.
Yeah. Great guy. Great ambassador of the sport. has always been, a fun guy to deal with. One of our first, when we got into the sport and as Canada started to take off, he was one of the big stars in Canada with GSP and the rest of the crew. I'm happy for him too, and it's been an honor having him fight in the UFC. You guys done with me?
I just had a question for both you and Dana and Cynthia. Cynthia, great performance tonight. I just wanted to get your thoughts on how the fight went and how you felt to be on the main card of a pay-per-view. And then Dana, I just wanted to get your thoughts. Another great strawweight fight tonight. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on, it's a few years old, how the strawweight division has evolved and its success.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone. The fight, I just went out there and fought. I knew I was going to get the finish. I didn't know how, but, it's just another day for me. I train all the time. It's a lifestyle for me. I fight every day. So, it just feels like home. It's just another day.
Yeah, the division continues to get stronger. So many talented women in this division. And, I was telling her tonight, there's been times in my career where, one night I was sitting there and these two women fought. And when the fight was over, I told one of my guys, I said, when she gets done showering, when she's ready, would you have her come sit out here? And she sat out there and watched the rest of the fights with me. It was Joanna Jacek. First time I ever met Conor McGregor. I called Lorenzo and I said, man, I don't know if this guy can fight, but if he can even throw a punch, he's going to be a fucking rock star. And I've had Ronda Rousey. I had a 45-minute meeting with her and decided to do women's MMA. And I feel pretty strongly about this one, too. And I think her performance was awesome tonight. I love the way that she eats pressure. Her first time she ever came into the UFC, we bumped her up to the main card, and she performed very well. And then tonight she goes in there with a bigger, stronger, woman with the reach who had a lot of experience, and she conducted herself as the badass that she is. So I'm very impressed with her performance, and I'm a fan.
Thanks, Dana. Congratulations, Cynthia.
Thank you so much.
Last one for you, Dana, just here in the front.
Hey.
Caitlin Shigagan was talking to us tonight again about the flyweight division. Just while we're on the topic of women's divisions, is that something in the pipeline?
Yeah. The talent is incredible. You talking about the women?
Yeah, is there a women's flyweight division?
Yeah, absolutely. I need a translator for you, my friend. Am I going to add that division?
Yeah, is that
probably not? No.
Is there any reason why, or?
I just don't want to.
Okay. And then
I'm kidding, but it's deeper than that. But yeah, we're not ready for that.
And Cynthia, yesterday was obviously a very stressful day. You weren't sure what was happening. What was the last 24 hours leading up to the fight like for you?
It was definitely crazy, but I just
for the record, not to jump in here, when I found out that they were talking about this fight being off, I called you, right, and said, this fight's happening. Don't listen to this bullshit that you're hearing. This fight's happening.
I got scared, of course, for a moment, and then when I talked to Dana, he reassured me that the fight was still on, but definitely panicked a little bit. At first, I was a little worried, but he reassured me that, the fight was going to happen, so everything was okay.
Thanks.
And I told Pearl that, too. Told them both, relax. Go back to your rooms. Relax. Don't listen to any of this shit. This fight's happening.
We just, from the New York State Athletic Commission, they weren't sure what was happening. That's just what we were going on yesterday morning. That's where our reports came from.
Right. Well, they knew what was going on. They did. It's just one of those things. It's one of those things that the media should never jump on stuff like that. That stuff's being worked out. These are all things that happen in our daily business. That's why, thank God, most of the stuff that goes on in the office every day never gets out, because it would be an absolute nightmare. The media reporting that this fight was off, and some of the media guys that I was like, you can pick up the phone and call. Why would you report that when we didn't say it? When we say it, it's true.
Thanks.
Yeah, Dana, right over here. You're talking about the media reporting the the fight being off and everything. I believe it was the commission though that actually reported it. So I guess you're saying that we should check with you guys. Or?
Yeah, check with us.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this woman right here is brilliant and available all the time, and never once did she tell any of you guys that this fight was off. And she's in constant communication with me, and it's just, yeah.
Okay, but you can understand, though, if the commission is saying something and it's being reported, that's...
So the commission put out a statement about the fight being off.
No, there was a video that came out from one of the commissioners saying that the fight had been off, and so I believe that's where the confusion was.
It's crazy. I didn't know that.
Anyways, any update on Canada? We're here in September. There might be a show up somewhere. We don't know yet. Is there any update on that?
No.
Okay, good to know. And Cynthia, congratulations on the victory. Did you feel like you were going to get the finish in this fight? Because Pearl's very tough, and you had a bunch of attempts, and this finish obviously came later.
I'm always expecting the finish. I'm not the type to want to leave it to the judges by any means. I have 5-0, 4 finishes, only 1 decision. I'm not looking to leave it as a decision. So I knew I was going to get the finish. I knew she was going to be a tough, bigger opponent, and she was going to be hungry. She's from Chicago. I knew she's hood. I'm from the hood. I was ready to bang. I was ready for a 3-round war, but I knew I was going to get that finish.
And does it kind of hit you yet how big this win is? You get another finish. You got the undefeated record, and the UFC obviously thinks very highly of you, putting you on a back-to-back pay-per-views. Does that sort of hit you yet?
Not exactly. I mean, I've been working for this for a long time. I knew this day was going to come. I didn't know it was going to be this fast, but yeah, I need to take a little bit of time off just to let it all sink in. I haven't even been a professional for a year. I made my professional debut in August. I had 5 fights in 8 months, so I got to sit down a little bit and just really take it all in. But I do want another one before August or by August. I want to get 6 fights in a year.
Yeah, and just quickly, you mentioned that everything's been very fast for you this year. I know pre-fight you said you might want a little bit of a break in between here because you haven't had much time to take off. What are the plans to sort of get a well-deserved vacation?
Just go spend time with my family and just really just reorganize and really just let everything sink in. And then just get back to work. It's a lifestyle for me. I love this. I love this a lot. It's my life. So I'm definitely going to try to enjoy it as much as I can, but I'm going to get back to work probably very soon.
Hi there, Dana. I have a question for you over here. You back in UFC 208, you crowned a female featherweight champion, yet we haven't seen much activity in that division since those 2 months. Are there any plans going forward to maybe bring in more female fighters at 145?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Jesus, I don't even know what to say about that. We'll have some announcements about that soon. I can't even get into that right now. My head will explode. But yeah, it's been weird.
I also have one question for Cynthia. The Buffalo fans seem to have really gotten behind you during the fight, really came alive for it. Is that kind of fan interaction, what does that mean to you so early in your career?
I mean, I love this. I mean, we wouldn't be as big without the fans, you know what I mean? So it's great. It's amazing. I love doing this, and to have people support me doing this is even better.
Thank you both for your time.
Just for Dana, with Anthony Johnson retiring now, a lot of people say the light heavyweight division is pretty top heavy. What does this do to lose a top 3 guy in that weight class when there's already a shortage on title contenders?
I don't ever think about that. The reality is we're going to keep bringing in talent. We're going to keep putting on fights. We're going to keep doing what we do. The fact that he retired, that's what he feels he needs to do right now, then that's what he needs to do. I'm happy for him. I hear stuff all the time. Been hearing, what are you guys going to do when Chuck retires? What are you guys going to do when GSP's gone? What are you going to do when this one's gone, when that one's gone? We're going to keep finding new talent and putting on fights.
And Luke Rockhold came out tonight and said that he's been offered the fight with Anderson Silva, just waiting to see if Anderson takes it. Is that the fight you expect to happen down in Brazil? Or?
I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, Anderson was willing to take on Kelvin Gastelum, who's a very tough, dangerous guy. I got to talk to Anderson. You all know, everybody in this room knows what it's like, dealing with Anderson. So, not that it's a bad thing. It's just, it's a process, and it's a process that I'm going to have to go through now. Listen, one of the things that I always respect about Anderson, he didn't want to fight Chael Sonnen again. He said, the guy's disrespectful. He's a punk. He doesn't deserve to fight me. He fought him. You know, and there's always been times when it seemed like, you know, Anderson steps up and Anderson fights. Anderson came in and fought Cormier at 200, you know. He's a stud, man. He's the GOAT, and I'm looking forward to walking through this process for the Luke Rockhold fight. We'll see what happens.
All right, and just one for Cynthia. You're the first fighter since Tito Ortiz back in 2011 to fight on back-to-back UFC pay-per-view cards. Just after this, getting 2 wins, how do you kind of move forward from here? Do you want, you know, a step up in competition? Do you want to fight it again? I know you said you want to be busy this year, but what's kind of the plan for you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to climb the ranks. I want to be the world champion, so hopefully I can work my way up there to that shot one day. But definitely, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I you know, if you go fast, I don't want to crash. So slow and steady. I did have a big year so far, but yeah, you know, I want to be the best in the world. This is my home.
Do you have an update on Floyd and Conor?
Conor, you know, is having a baby any day now, and after Conor has his baby, Conor and I are going to meet in New York.
Is it close?
And then we'll go from there. No, we're not close. We're not close.
Still better chance of you being the backup
you know,
quarterback?
Yeah, no. I think there's a better chance of it happening than me quarterbacking, but I see this fight happening. I see this fight happening. There's just Conor wants it and Floyd wants it. And you know, I've said many times, Connor's done a lot. He's stepped up in big fights for this company and for me and for Lorenzo. And yeah, I can't deny him this fight.
Is September still possible?
What I would like to clarify is all the bullshit about the 80-20 split. Jeff Mayweather, come on, Jeff. Me and Jeff go way back. Jeff, are you the spokesman now for fucking Team Mayweather? And Bob Arum, you piece of shit. Fuck you too. What do they know about this fight? You know what they know about this fight? Nothing. Okay? Believe me, we have had preliminary talks with Conor, and I'm in a good place with Conor, and we're gonna meet in New York when he has this baby.
Is September still possible?
I don't know. You know, the thing is the longer it takes, you know, for us to come to an agreement, I think the longer it's going to take to negotiate with the Mayweather team, you know, because I know all the talk of A side, B side, and all this stuff. Listen, of course, everything that I say is going to come off bias because he's my guy, but you guys judge. Is Conor McGregor not a massive star? And is this not, you know, this fight here, Floyd doesn't make this kind of money either without Conor. So Conor's just as important as Floyd when it comes to this fight.
Would you have?
Not to mention the fact that Conor's actually stepping in and boxing him and not saying, hey, let's fight in mixed martial arts.
Would you have to deal with Showtime too to get this done?
I don't think so, no.
It would be separate?
No, Mayweather's team would have to deal with them. I'm dealing with my side. I'll let them deal with their side.
So you've talked to them?
To
Mayweather?
Mayweather's? Yeah. I've been talking to him for a while now. You good? Hey, thanks for the support. And again, all the people in Buffalo and all the Buffalo media, I really appreciate you. Thank you.